Mailbag time here at the Cleveland Browns Report. I'm answering questions that came in during our live show, which airs every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern. So tune in next Wednesday if you want to be a part of that mailbag. Also, make sure to like the video down below today and every time you tune into the channel to help support the channel. Joshua Miller, what really surprised you about going to the Combine and what disappointed you about, if anything? Great question, Josh. So I'll start with the surprising. I always knew this, but I guess I didn't give it enough credit. It's not quite a job fair, but it's a networking event where you'd think the primary attraction would be all the draft prospects, right? Not really. It's like a nocturnal event where during the day, people are kind of hungover from staying out till 4 a.m. the night before. The city of Indianapolis completely just rips up all of its drinking laws, and it turns into like a nightclub at steakhouses. So I knew that was the case. Did not give it enough credit, though, of, wow, everyone stays out till 4 a.m. We're up tomorrow morning at 7:30 because the first set of combine interviews are at 8:30, and we're like the only ones here because everyone else is strolling in at 10 a.m. with sunglasses and coffee in their hand. So that surprised me because I knew it would be kind of like that, but not that much like that. And then disappointed. Disappointed is it's really not entertaining to go over to Lucas Oil and watch the actual combine itself. I thought it'd be more fun, more interesting, more entertaining. You're sitting in a section, and they're just going from one drill to the next. It's kind of a made-for-TV event because the cameras can get up close on them, but you could be like, I was sitting, for example, at like the 10-yard line in a corner of the end zone. All the drills were the opposite corner, and you can't go sit over there. They block off like half the seating. So you don't really take away a lot from it. It's hard to even know who's doing what drill at what time. There's a lot going on at the field. So I'd say actually watching the combine itself, you could gather a lot more from it on TV or if you're at field level, which I was not. Josh, thank you for the super chat. George, as a Browns fan from the UK, I can't wait to see us in London. No to DK without a solid QB. No need to add another diva receiver to the locker room. Go Browns. George, I agree. I think the Browns could have interest in Metcalf. And by interest, I mean at least pick up the phone and call what the asking price is since they've traded for all their other wide receivers. And they do like acquiring young, talented players. But then again, who doesn't? But the Browns especially after that Jerry Jeudy trade. So this seems like it'd be kind of fitting that bill a little bit. But I agree that I don't think the timing is lining up. The Browns might feel like they are better than they really are. I don't believe they are. I think the 3 wins last year is an accurate reflection as to where you are right now. It's LeBron. Sam Darnold to the Browns. The Vikings did not franchise tag him. The sense I'm getting from Minnesota is they're ready to roll with J.J. McCarthy. And that Darnold has earned himself $40 million a season after his 2024 year. I don't think the Vikings want to pony up $40 million when they believe they've got maybe a better quarterback for way less in J.J. McCarthy, someone they took 10th overall just last April. So Darnold, I think, is going to have free agent options outside of Cleveland. I don't expect the Browns to give him $40 million. I'll give you 2 teams I think Darnold could end up with. Tennessee Titans and Las Vegas Raiders. I think Russell Wilson, though, will go to the Raiders, so I kind of want to put Darnold down for Tennessee, and then the Titans trade out of number 1 with the Giants, and they take Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter at number 3. But Darnold definitely had a really good season, and I never put him high up on my radar a few weeks or months ago because it just didn't seem likely that Minnesota would let him go. But as we inch closer and closer to free agency, it does not appear like a reunion is absolute. So I'll say no because I don't think the Browns should be paying $40 million for a quarterback right now because I don't think there's a quarterback away anymore. So I'll say no. Laserbeam78, trade second-round pick for DK and sign Cousins, draft Abdul Carter, and Miles will stay. I wonder how an Abdul Carter draft pick would impact Garrett's decision. Like, would that help or hurt it? I don't think he'd be upset with them drafting someone at the same position of him, but there could be some level of paranoia that creeps in of, you just use the second overall pick on someone who plays my position. Is that a sign that you've already thought about replacing me in a few years as I approach 30 years old? I'm not giving up a second for DK. I'm not giving up pick 33. You have the first pick in round 2. You have the first pick in day 2 of the draft. That is not going to 27-year-old DK Metcalf who wants to make $25 million a season. Maybe even close to like 28, 29. No, thank you. Ghostface just read that the Browns are trying to go after Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders this draft, since Shedeur Sanders' cap draft is slipping somewhat. What's your take on this happening, and could it happen? I guess it could happen because I've heard it's more likely Sanders goes to round 2 than goes first overall. I don't think he's a top 10 player, but I don't think he'll get out of the top 10 because teams are very desperate for quarterbacks like the Raiders and the Jets. So that kind of feels like the backstop for him, but people thought Will Levis would go 4th or 5th overall, and he went round 2, so this stuff does happen. As for Travis Hunter, when the Browns said they view him as a wide receiver, I was like, ooh, are the Browns really about to use the second overall pick in a wide receiver who I don't even think is like one of the best wide receivers we've seen enter the draft recently? If he was in last year's draft class, if he was just a wide receiver, would he go before Marvin Harrison Jr., Malik Neighbors, Rome Odunze? I don't think so. And I'm just talking about Hunter, the receiver. And the Browns view him as a wide receiver. They didn't really give a ton of ammunition to the idea of he could be a guy that goes both ways for us. So I think it'd be easier to play corner and then have specialty packages on offense. Play corner and you get 15 snaps on offense. And as the years go on, those snaps could go up because you have a better grasp of the playbook. To play offense and then go to defense, to me that seems too tough. If you're tired on defense, you're giving up a touchdown. If you're tired on offense, you just might be the guy that doesn't score a touchdown. Very different things. Before we get on to the rest of the questions, I do want to give a quick plug to this awesome hat over at Fanatics. That is 70% off. It's under $10 right now. Go to chatsports.com/CLE hat. I put this link in the comments and description of today's video. So if you're looking to up your Browns wardrobe a little bit, although right now may not feel like the best time, but still 70% savings, that's a hard deal to beat right there. So get yourself a brand new Browns hat for less than $10 by going to chatsports.com/CLE hat. This link is in the comments and description of today's video. Use our link to support us here at the Cleveland Browns Report. Matthew Harper, what do you think about waiting to draft Dart in the 2nd or 3rd round? Jackson Dart's, Jackson Dart's value, I guess the word I'm looking for right now, has gone up since the combine. Stock's up. That's what I'm looking for. Thank you. His stock has gone up since the combine. I thought he had a really strong performance and overall good week in Indianapolis between everything I heard from his meetings and then like the things we saw on the field and the testing and those things like that. So I'd be very much on board with Dart in round 3. I know that as we get closer to the draft, every single year, draft media just starts inevitably building up these quarterbacks. If the quarterbacks are perceived as interesting, people will have more interest in the draft. People thought Kenny Pickett was going to be, people thought Malik Willis could go first round. Mel Kiper, the godfather of mock drafts, I think had Malik Willis going 20th overall to the Steelers in his final mock. The mock draft experts and draft insiders, they have to harvest on this seasonal job. And that includes quarterback intrigue. So you asked me a few months ago, Jackson Dart round 2. I'm like, no. But all of a sudden, it's dramatically changed for a lot of people. I'm going to stick with a vast majority of my evaluation for all these prospects are made up from the college football season. Far too often, people start forgetting about the games they played, and their evaluation comes up of How were they at the combine? The combine is good for really two things, in my opinion. 2.5 things. One, medical history. You get a doctor, check them all out, and you find out like guys like Abdul have a stress fracture in their foot. 2, getting to know them as a person, meeting with them, learning what they're like and not just who they are as a player on your big board with a number and some stats below their name. And then the half is some measurements for specific positions. Some teams, for example, just will not draft an offensive tackle who has an arm length shorter than 33 inches. They just view it as a deal breaker. Some teams want taller corners, lengthier corners. Some teams won't draft running backs who run this slow of a 40-yard dash. So that's the half part right there. It's position dependent is specific and team specific as well. Matthew, thank you very much for your question, though. Hope I gave you a good answer. Kathy Sidlecki, what do you think we need more? Defense and offensive line? What do you think we need more? Defense and offensive line or a quarterback? I mean, ideally a quarterback, right? It'd be great if the Browns are picking second overall and it was Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels and Drake May in this draft class, but it ain't. So let's not pretend like it is, okay? Let's just accept reality. It's a down quarterback class. I don't think it's as bad as 2022. Nothing's going to quite rival that one, but I think it's going to be closer to that than any other quarterback class. So I'd say quarterback, but this is not the year to fix your quarterback problems in the draft. It's a very good year to fix your defensive line and offensive line problems, though. There are some really good guys in the trenches. So I'd pick the first option, Kathy. YK Braden. What if we trade our Bills third-round pick for DK Metcalf, draft Jackson, Dart, or Cam Ward, get Judkins, or Trayvon Henderson, and get Chubb on a vet contract? Then we have a QB, Henderson or Judkins, Njoku, Judy, and the rookies. This seems like a very viable plan, YK. And I don't think it's a bad plan either. I think you're kind of glossing over get Cam Ward. It appears that he's going first, and if the rumors are true, the Browns aren't going to move up. So you're putting a lot of faith in Jackson Dart, who ran a Mickey Mouse offense at Ole Miss. He was never asked to go through progressions, and he's going to be tested in the NFL, and I think he might fail that test. YK Braden, thank you so much for your question, though. So, some super chats here as we wrap up our mailbag. James Harper with a $50 super chat. So, James, if you're watching right now, thank you so much for your support of the channel. And I agree. Chubb, apparently on the way out of Cleveland, really sucks. Dolphin with another $50 super chat. Joel Batonio is staying. So, finally, some good news. Yeah, Dolphin, ditto, and completely agree. It's nice to finally get a good piece of news on our phone. Jonathan Mann, go Browns, go Brownies. Jonathan, thank you for your super chat. And that's going to do it for us on our mailbag today. Let's pick a question to pick a card to wrap up today's mailbag. Which card do you want to go with, Mr. Bartkus?
Let's go 5 of hearts. No. I don't like it. I'm going to stay there. I'm going to stay at 5. But go with clubs.
Okay. I'm going to go with 7 of spades. What'd you say? 5 of spades.
No!
That sucks. 5 of spades. All right, that will do it for us again on today's mailbag. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'll see everyone tomorrow.